Hey guys, what's up? Alright, look. This video is basically just gonna be me ranting and getting the rest of my thoughts out about this fucking movie. Listen. See, this is what fucking happens when people wank the shit out of a movie. Just like they overhype a movie and just wank it so fucking much for all of the stupidest or just weirdest fucking reasons. And then when you're the person who has the opinion that disagrees, or you're the person that like is the odd man out and you don't like something as much as everybody else liked it, then for some reason like the arguments I've had on Facebook with some of the people about the opinions over this movie is like, if you don't like this movie and you don't like this representation of the Joker, somehow you are less intelligent, or you're just a Marvel fanboy who likes nothing but explosions and everything. And I'm like, what? Excuse me, like, of all of the Batman stories I've seen, all of the Joker stories I've seen, any story that I've ever seen or read involving the Joker, Batman has usually always been there in some way, shape, or form. And not only that, even when Batman was not present, the one thing that was always centrally present with the Joker was the notion of absolute chaos, and that he thinks life is a joke and that he's the punchline to the joke. But in this movie, none of that registered to me. All I saw throughout this movie and by the very end of the movie was just a crazy guy who paints his face in clown makeup, put a smile on his face, and shot a TV host. Like, what? I'm sorry, but when I think of the Joker, I think of Heath Ledger. I think of the motherfucker who, like, systematically took down the mob pretty much all by himself by making it look like he was working with them. And then, like, Heath had a lot of good quotes in that movie, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Heath said it best when he started pouring the gasoline on all the money he stole, and then he burned it. And he was like, all you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal, and I'm gonna give it to him. That's something the Joker would say, because the Joker, at his core, he doesn't give a shit about money. He doesn't give a shit about mental health. He doesn't give a shit about, like, rising up the people to revolt against the rich, or any of that. He doesn't give a shit about any of that. The Joker doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. And causing absolute chaos and mayhem, and proving that everyone on the planet is just one bad day from being as fucked up and twisted as he is. And then the other point to the Joker is that he doesn't exist without Batman, and Batman is nothing without him, and that they need each other to exist. This movie doesn't convey that at all. Like, it feels like they just tacked on the Thomas and Martha Wayne murder at the end just to be like, oh wait, like, you know, remember, this is a DC movie, you know, you have to remember that, you know, the Waynes die, you know, and then it's like they didn't want to make it like the Batman '89 movie where Jack Nicholson's Joker was the one who shot Batman's parents when he was a kid, and then, you know, Batman later on in life is the one who ends up making him the Joker. They didn't want to do that. But then it's like, if you wanted to make a Joker origin story, why not just make a live-action version of The Killing Joke? Like, what, is Joaquin Phoenix too good to play a zany, insane, mentally fucked up version of the Joker? Like, if you people think that Arthur Fleck is fucked up, the Joker himself, in The Killing Joke especially, is way more fucked up. Way more fucked up. And if you know what I'm talking about, like, spoiler alert for The Killing Joke if you haven't read The Killing Joke, like, in that comic book, the Joker, for example, one of the first things that he does is that he purchases this circus, or this carnival, this old abandoned fucked up carnival, and then he basically tricks the guy who sold it to him. He was gonna pay the guy, and then as he shook the guy's hand to make the deal, he Joker venomed the guy, killed him, permanent grin on his face, and then he just walked off. Want to know the next thing he did? He went to Commissioner Gordon's house, shot Barbara Gordon in the stomach, de-dressed her. It is assumed that he raped her, took pictures of it, left, told her to tell Batman. Then he kidnapped Commissioner Gordon, stripped him down, like, tortured him, and then put him on a merry-go-round ride, or like the Tunnel of Love or whatever the hell, in a carnival, making him view pictures of his crippled, bleeding out, and obviously getting raped, probably most likely getting raped, daughter. Sorry about that. That's my laptop. I forgot to turn notifications off. But, or how about the time when, in the comic books, just to prove a point, just to fuck with Batman and the Bat family, where he surgically removed his own face, or had someone surgically remove it. I can't remember which. I think it was like a doll maker or something like that who removed his face for him. And he went to the GCPD, nailed it to a wall. Joker went AWOL for about a year. He came back after a year, broke into the GCPD, stole his face, stapled it back on, put it back on with some belts, and then he systematically tore the Bat family apart. Then after that, he came back again, and basically Joker gassed the entire city and drove pretty much everyone mad, and just like, the Joker fucked up a whole lot of things. And then it's like, then there's the Batman Who Laughs storyline. There's the time that he killed Commissioner Gordon's wife in front of a whole bunch of infant baby in a room full of babies, and the babies all crawled over her dead corpse. All of the fucked up shit he did in The Dark Knight. Like, people think that this version of the Joker is the deepest, most fucked up version of the Joker we've ever gotten, and that is not even remotely close to being the case. Like, this version of the Joker is not even remotely close to being as bad as, like, the comic book version of the Joker is. And it's like, I get what they were trying to do, but here's my problem, and here's why I really just, like, after having seen the movie and really thought about it and just, like, gotten into the arguments back and forth and really thought about the movie and sat down and really, like, came to grips with it, and why I don't like it, is not because the movie itself is bad, is because of the reason why the movie was made. The reason why this movie was made was pretentious and disingenuous. The reason why I say that is because Todd Phillips specifically made this movie with the intent not to make it a comic book film, not to make it a superhero movie or supervillain movie, because by the end of this movie, Arthur Fleck isn't necessarily seen as the villain. He's basically lorded up as a hero. There are people who worship this man by the end of the movie. So it's like, you're not directly saying, yeah, he's the good guy, but there are people in the movie in Gotham saying, yeah, what this guy did was awesome, it was great. I'm not condoning that. What I think he did was fucked up and it was wrong, and, you know, he's locked up in Arkham where he belongs. But that's not what the movie really gets across. By the end, he's like, you know, dancing and having a good time, running away from the orderlies and shit, like it's a good old time, like it doesn't matter. And that's how the Joker should feel, but he's not a criminal mastermind. He's not the clown prince of crime. He's not a methodical, psychopathic, fucked up jester who is capable of mentally fucking with some of the greatest superheroes and supervillains in comic books. And then it's like, we're expected to feel bad for this guy, but then it's like, then you remember, wait a minute, this is fucking Gotham. Fucked up shit happens in Gotham all the time. Crazy shit happens in Gotham all the time. They make this, like, they try to make this movie or this version of Gotham seem like it's a reflection of real-world society right now. To be perfectly honest with you, society right now, from my perspective, as I've seen it and experienced it, isn't nearly as bad as it is in comic books with Gotham. Gotham in the comic books would be cut off from real-world society if it was a real place, okay? Gotham is massively fucked up. Massively fucked up. Like, there is so much crazy fucked up shit that goes on in Gotham. Gotham, like, realistically would not be able to exist because there's just so much corruption and greed and all the crime and the supervillains. It's ridiculous. So, it's like, to try and make a movie to ground Gotham and the Joker specifically in reality just doesn't make any fucking sense. And the fact that the director Todd Phillips made this movie with the intent to make it what the fuck did he say? To make this a character study under the disguise of a comic book movie. That's fucking disingenuous and just really slapping comic book fans who want like a really good version of the Joker that's comic book accurate in the face and being like, I don't give a fuck about what you nerds or what you man children want. You know, I'm gonna make the movie the art that I want. Acting like superhero movies can't be art. I'm sorry. Heath Ledger won a Oscar performance for his performance as the Joker. All Joaquin Phoenix is doing is chasing the legend who won it first. And then, on top of that, Into the Spider-Verse, a animated superhero movie, won a fucking Oscar last year, in case some of you forgot. So, where are we getting this notion that fucking, like, only artsy superhero movies and realistic portrayals of supervillains is this new prophetic thing? I genuinely don't fucking understand. So it's like, I really just don't like the fact that people are wanking this movie so much. It just doesn't feel genuine. Like, I've heard the same shit from everybody online. Like, and I just don't understand. Literally in my theater, I had people falling asleep because the shit was boring. Like, the Joker isn't meant to be all reserved and quiet and shy and meek. Like, the Joker is supposed to be a fucking maniac. He's supposed to be wild and unpredictable. Like, personally speaking, while I don't suffer from the same kind of mental health that other people do, I know mental health is a very severe and very sensitive topic, but I have been diagnosed with mental health issues. I'm not not ashamed to admit that. Like, I'm a very erratic and very spontaneous, like, fast-paced, hard to keep a track of person. And so it's like, when I'm watching this movie, I'm just like, this guy really just, like, needs to move away to another city or something. Like, he needs to get out of Gotham and go to Metropolis. Metropolis is great if that's your fucking issue. Like, if the society you live in is so fucked up, move. Go somewhere else. That's the way I see it. Like, if people are so upset with their environment and their society, just go somewhere else where things might be better for you. You know what I mean? And it's like, in the movie, yeah, he killed those 3 Wall Street assholes who were being dicks to him, but anyone who's read a fucking Joker or knows anything about the fucking Joker knows or knew, as soon as those 3 assholes came onto the train, you knew they were going to die. Like, in the trailer, I could tell, okay, yeah, he's going to kill those guys. There's no way in hell he's not going to kill those guys. Like, nothing in this movie was unpredictable, and that misses the entire point of the Joker. So, I've literally been ranting for like the past 13 minutes. I don't have that much space on this memory card that I'm using right now. I've said what I've wanted to say. This is probably not that much different from the review that I put up initially reviewing the movie, but it's like, I don't want to be seen as a hater, but it's like, because I don't hate this movie, I just don't like it for the fact that it was made disingenuously and, quite frankly, disrespectfully. You may disagree, you may say, oh, you're just a Heath Ledger fanboy, you just love explosions and you don't understand the Joker at all. Shut the fuck up. Like, the Joker is one of my favorite, if not my favorite comic book villain of all time, only slightly surpassed or on par with Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash. Like, the Joker is one of my favorite super villain characters because he's not a super villain. He's just a regular guy who's fucking insane and uses his intellect and superior sanity and insanity to fuck with people and to get his agenda done. That's why I like the Joker. He's virtually unstoppable for the simple fact that, like, no matter what anyone does, the Joker will always seem to exist and will always be able to just do whatever he does and deliver a joke and be charming and terrifying while he does it. So, that's what the Joker is to me. Heath Ledger captured and encapsulated that perfectly. Joaquin Phoenix just didn't. He was just boring and uninteresting at the end of the day to me. So whatever. You can think what you want. You can dislike the video. You can call me a hater. You can say whatever the fuck you want. At the end of the day, I really just don't care. This is just me getting out my opinion because I had something to say. So, like, dislike, comment, whatever. I don't care. You know, turn your bell notifications on, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your day.